Hey guys, welcome. I'm Chris Kiefer. This is the YouTube channel, and today we have a 2025 Yamaha YZ450F. The 2026s are here. So this is the final version of my Yamaha. It took about 2 years to create something that I really enjoyed riding. I know Travis Press is probably going to listen to this and say I'm full of shit, but nonetheless, it did take me a lot of time to get this new generation frame and just the power and how I like it. Look, I'm getting older, I want a smoother power, but yet have some excitement. So this is kind of what we did right here at the 2025 YZ450F. You can see the written version over on pulpmx.com. I did a full written version of this, the parts list and everything that we did, but I thought, why not do it for the YouTube crowd right here? Now, before we start, yes, there is a lot of parts on this. No, that doesn't mean you guys out there need everything on this bike. So I already can see the comments coming. It's too expensive, all these parts. I understand it, I get it. We're gonna talk about the top 3 mods that I would do if I had this bike into this. But we'll start from the front to the back. I'll get my buddy David in here because he has a 26 YZ450F. He rode this bike and we can kind of compare a little bit. All right, so starting up the front, Aiden, come around here. Look, all different types of suspension companies out there. I've gone through Enzo, REP, Factory Connection, a lot of different suspension companies are out there. Look, if I was gonna suggest a company to you guys, Enzo REP has some of the best Yamaha stuff that I have felt. Why? Probably because I spent the most time on it and helped them develop their suspension. But look at Ross, Yoshi, and the crew. They know KYB suspension. Mark and I have worked together at REP on suspension, and this bike in stock form is soft. It should be good for you for the first 2 or 3 hours, and it gets soft. So what you want from this bike is a little bit more hold up. You want to keep comfort. Enzo or REP have that. This is still a spring fork. I've tried PSF1 forks. I've tried different valving specs, spring rates, but this bike likes stiffer settings and heavier spring rates. So if you're going to go get your suspension done, REP, Enzo are some of the best stuff that I have tried on this bike for myself. Dunlop MX3S front tire. Some of you guys will say, hey, I can't corner this thing. MX3S F, that's the full name for it. Front tire really helps this thing dig in. If you can't get a 3S where you're at, then you go to a AT82. Want to lift that up a little bit there, good boy? Okay, good, thanks. My camera guy is a teenager, so just go look at my Instagram if you want to know what teenagers are about. Right here, Adrian at Ride Engineering, he makes discs for it. This is a solid mounted disc, not a floating disc. Doesn't help a lot, but it does help a little bit of improvement at the touch of the lever if you are on a stock front brake. I am on a Brembo old school 2007 Master with an old school 2007 caliper, and what that does, it gives me more of a linear feel and a stronger braking power. I don't like the stock front brake on the Yamaha, so having a front brake that actually stops and that you can drag a little bit and modulate is huge on this bike. So the Yamaha is kind of mushy, don't really care for it, so that is a great mod for you guys out there. I am on a stock 22 clamp, but if you look over here, FCP Races, which kicks it out 0.2. Okay, what they call 20 minutes, just kicks that front wheel out a little bit. And you want to make this wheelbase longer on the Yamaha because with the new frame, it turns better than the 22, but actually it's just not as stable as the 22 and not as planted. So this will actually help the planted feel of the bike. I am on an ARC 26mm ratio hard lever. If you guys are wondering about ratios, I like my throw a little bit longer, so going to a 26mm lever ratio does help that engagement, that pulling power to get that rear wheel down, that power to the ground. So 26mm ARC hard lever. I don't like folding levers with an RC8 perch. Easy to adjust while you're riding. So front end, basically that's my front end right here. What I like, moving on over here, Aiden, if you want to come over here. Works connection. Offset foot peg mounts, shaved down, so if you guys are riding on the balls of your feet, or if you're flat-footed like us vet guys sometimes, you might want to ride on that mount. Well, this kind of helps that. I have also pro pegs, open cleat design, so -5 down, -5 back, opens the cockpit up a little bit. Anywhere If you're 5'11" and up, you're gonna like that feel from transition from sitting to standing. Seat concept seat, firm foam, full ribbed. I like this cover because it's not too grippy, doesn't really eat up my behind a little bit. So I have tried other companies that have a little bit heavier spikes on their seat cover, and this is the most gentle on my behind on long days of riding. Under here is a twin air power flow kit. Also under here is a Vortex ECU mapped by Chad at XPR, and then we have a Kropovich muffler. So with the engine on the YZ450F, there's a lot of power. I want to manage that power. I want to make it longer. I want to make it easier to ride. So with the Kropovich muffler, with the XPR tuned Vortex, it does that really well. Sure, you can go to your Yamaha power tuner and you can do something there, but the variables aren't as big as they are on a Vortex. So I can make this thing really tuned for my liking with the Vortex and just make it really easy and smooth, and just a longer second to third gear power that I need, especially if I go to tight areas, back east, ruddy tracks. Over here, Aiden, come around here again. Bundy built flywheel. So there's a flywheel weight in here. What they do is they can add the weight to your stock flywheel, and what that does is adds a little bit more free feeling on decel braking. Engine braking's a little bit lighter, and then for me the delivery is just smoother. That's what I'm looking for from this power. It's not so on-off feeling. There was not an on-off feel from this bike at all because of three things: this flywheel weight, a Kropovich muffler, and that XPR Vortex ECU. Another thing on the chassis side that complements the races are these SCP engine mounts. So what this does, it's a solid, thicker mount up front, and then a little softer mount up here. And what that does, it helps with bump touch and really helps with bump comfort. And this is what this chassis needs. Again, 2023 to 2025, chassis is a little bit stiffer than the old chassis. And for me, it's just not as planted. I want more comfort. And with the races and the engine mounts, that gives me more comfort. 1349 gearing, DID chain, ERT3 chain, MX14 rear. I run the MX14 a lot in Southern California. Yes, even if it's a little hard pack like it is today at Glen Helen Raceway, it's 1 o'clock. There's probably a lot of dry areas, but I still love this right here. I have works connection axle blocks, and of course, grip tape. Not an essential piece to this build, but Anchor Tape does this really well. I like to lock myself in, and they make side plates as well as frame grip material tape. 1.8 radiator cap will help you from spewing oil on your starting line if the guy holds the fucking board up too long, because God knows you go to a local race, the guy will sit there for 10 years and you'll just be pissing ass coolant. We don't want that. Dave, get in here. My buddy Dave. Oh, for you guys wondering what the hell this is, some of you guys like half waffle soft. What do you like? Full waffle? So for whatever reason, I've been going to a full waffle Renthal, cutting 4 bars down here. I like that for my left hand for the clutch lever. Now on this side, it's just a standard half waffle soft, but I do like a full waffle 4 bars cut, a little bit thicker than the half waffle soft. So that's just something right here. Renthal 672 bend bar. Dave rode this. Go ahead, Dave. I ain't gonna say shit.
It was amazing. I've never ridden a bike this good, and its suspension's stiffer for me. But coming off my 26 to this
What are you,
thing,
200 pounds? 190?
I'm 185.
Sorry, man.
185.
Sorry, man. 185.
It was the power is unbelievable. It's smooth and linear.
Yeah.
But it just keeps going, and you better be looking where you want to go because you're going to get there quick. It was amazing.
Is it easy for you to ride?
Yes, very
So the 26 is easier for you to ride, but you would like a little bit more from that.
Yeah. Look, it's only the second ride in this 26. It just feels plugged up. We're working on some stuff with mapping. You get on this thing, and it's just some of the engine braking is gone. There's still a little bit there, but the power is just unbelievable. The suspension feels really good. It's set up for you. Yeah. But it's like a Cadillac out here. It was unbelievable. So, I came back. I was thoroughly impressed.
Just FYI, Travis Preston rode this, and he says it's probably the best YZ he's ridden. So that says something. Mr. R&D at Yamaha rode my bike, and he really likes it. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. So you guys out there going, hey man, I don't have that much money. What should I do? I have a 2023, 24, 25, whatever you guys have in that year range. I have a YZ450 in that year range. What should I do first? So if it was me, I need to get the chassis calmer. That's the first thing I need to do. So for me, I'd get my suspension done, and then if you want to pick engine mounts or races, for me, I would do the races first because it just makes the wheelbase longer, and that's what I would need. It helps bring that twitch down. When I say twitch, if you guys understand a Yamaha, when you're wide open, you chop it, you get a little bit of a twitch feel off throttle, and it calms all that down. It really helps you lean into the corner better. Even though the bike is longer, this bike corners better because of these. Now, if you had to pick something from the engine side of things, what would you do? Look at the stock muffler is great. Out of all the stock mufflers out there, the Yamaha muffler is really good from 2023 to 2025. Lots of power, sounds nice, I like it. But I want to smooth this thing out. I'm going to Krapovich muffler because, one, it's well built. Yes, it is expensive, but it broadens everything up. It just makes it smoother to ride. So that is one thing I would do to the engine. Now, if you have a little bit of extra money, sure, you can go to a Vortex, but you don't need to do that. You can go to a smoother map on your Yamaha power tuner, and then you can go to a 26mm ratio lever, and that actually smooths that little bit of hit down as well. So if you're fanning that clutch out of a corner, it helps the bite. And what I mean by bite is like just the hit of your clutch. It's not so on-off feeling. It's very smooth, so you don't get that jerkiness coming out of a corner. So those are the things that I would do initially if I was trying to save a little bit of money but actually make the YZ a little bit better. The YZ is the best 450 out there. I mean, I will say that, but it comes with some growing pains. It's not like my 22. The 22, you guys call it a heavy pig, which it was, but it was planted, it was easy to ride. And then this is a little bit more finicky. We talk about track toughness. This has less track toughness for me than the older chassis does. So for you East Coast guys, for sure you're gonna need stiffer suspension, and you can go to some races, and that's really gonna help you drive into these longer ruts back east, and where they get choppy and soft, doesn't suck you down as much. So those two things, suspension, bringing that suspension up, and then making this bike longer does help. I've tried different gearing, but for me, if you guys look, see where this rear wheel is placed, it's in the middle here, but these blocks are a little thicker, so the wheelbase is actually quite long, and for me, it really does help calm this bike down. So 2026 is here. He has his 26. We're gonna get ours here fairly soon. This is the final build, the final video that you're gonna see on a Yamaha. If you go to our YouTube and you search all the videos, there's a ton of crap on a YZ450F, but this is the final piece. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, Chris at KieferIncTesting.com. I'm here to help you guys as much as I can and hopefully spend your money in the right direction. No need to waste money. Our sport's expensive enough. We don't need to just keep adding shit. I understand you guys out there, I get a lot of this stuff for free, but I get that stuff for free in order to try to help you guys dissect which way to spend your money. If I didn't get all this stuff and decide, then I would just tell you, hey, ride the thing stock. You never know, there's a 26 sitting over there, Pan. Maybe that thing doesn't need all this stuff that we did here. We'll see. We're gonna ride this more, and hopefully maybe we can leave the stock engine mounts on and don't need races and all this other stuff. So we're gonna break down that bike more in the future, but you can look over on KieferIncTesting.com as well as RacerXOnline.com and PulpMX.com. Any final parting words? If you're gonna do something to your 26 right now, what are you gonna do? What do you want?
I want the motor in this.
So you want a muffler?
Mm-hmm. I want my bike to run just like this.
26 has a more plugged up muffler and then a different intake inside here. So that's for sound. It's almost like a resonance chamber inside the snout that goes down in. There's a little resonance chamber within the intake that helps the sound. So you can go back to a 25 intake if you want, and then go to an aftermarket muffler, and boom, you got that power right back.
This was easy to ride. It's just, this is what I like, but it's easy to ride. Like I said, my bike feels plugged up, but we're just trying to figure it out. But this is good.
Lots of cool things on here, and all of these mods are important to me. This is what makes this bike fun to ride. So yes, it is expensive, but all of these mods have a purpose and they work. There's no fluff on here. The fluff is probably the fork coating. Pan over there. That's the fluff. That's the fluff. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Any questions, you guys know the email. Hit me up. Happy to help you guys out. We'll see you on the next video.